Welcome to Reader's Retreat, and this is a quarter of the year wrap up. Uh, in other words, I'm going to tell you and show you the books I've read so far this year. Uh, there is 14 altogether. So this year has been the best year in the last 2 years. For the last 2 years, I just wasn't reading very well, and so let's do the wrap up. And first book. Now I think these are in order, but I'm not going to swear to it. This is Kim Harrison, The Undead Pool. That's the first book I finished out off this year, and it is a good book. It's a good, great series. I'm enjoying it. A lot of people don't enjoy it. That is understandable, but that ain't me. The second book I finished off is Under the Dome by Stephen King, and I did enjoy this. And it's really, I mean, I would recommend it. I still consider it more eh, thriller, sci-fi, or whatever you want to call it. I don't consider it a horror at all, except for some of the stuff that happened when the dome came down. The third book is The Demonist by Thomas E. Sinofsky. Great book. I enjoyed this from the beginning to the end. And I am glad I got to this, and I'm glad I read it, and I'm going to be looking for more of his books. Now, the fourth book, now this book is not for everybody's liking. This book is mainly because I am ordained, and as you can see, there ain't nothing on the front or back, but it is a minister service manual. And I read that, it talks about weddings and funerals and Christian and baptism and everything like that. So that's the fourth book I got done with. Now this book here I read twice this year, and this is by Catherine Summers, uh, and it's prophetic worship. Again, this is for Christian. It is a Christian book, and so that's the fifth book I got done with. Then the sixth book, Doctor Fate. Uh, Paul Levitz wrote it. Sonny Sonny Liu or something like that did drew it, and I really liked it and stuff. I just didn't like the art. I liked the story, but I did not like the art. So what can I say? Then a friend of mine uh, sent this to me, and she signed it, and it's from the paranormal paranormal case files of Bishop Kincaid, the Rembrandt Stratagem by Kelly Austin, and this is a pulp. Uh, it could also go into a little bit of steampunk, uh, but we'll see. But I really enjoyed this. I really did. This is if you like pulps or if you like uh, masked heroes, uh, this is a must read for anybody and everybody. So make sure you go read it, and you can find it on Amazon. She is a independent author. Then the next book is by Riley Sager. Now I didn't care for this as much as I did his the first two books I read of his, but it was all right. It's The House Across the Lake. Uh, I mean, it's still worth reading. Don't get me wrong; it's still worth reading. It just wasn't a 5 star, and I can't remember what I gave these things. One of these days, I'm going to do this right and look it up and write everything down. And the next one is Trinity of Sin, Pandora. This is from the New 52. Ray Fawkes wrote it. Francis Portela drew it. And there you go. Now, as you can see, the art is good. I mean, the art is awesome in this one. I did enjoy that. The next one is the question, and this one here was wrote by Dennis O'Neil and drew by Denise Cohen or Cowan, however you pronounce it. And again, I would say the art is between. I mean, it's okay. It ain't bad like Doctor Fate's, but it ain't as good as Pandora's either. So, and the next book. This is an awesome book. This got 5 stars from me. The Eighth Circle by Sarah Kane. I enjoy this. And people, if you love thrillers, if you love mysteries, pick this up. Uh, it is worth the read. I'm going to be looking for more of her books because I really enjoyed this book. It's a 5 star all the way for me, all the way through the book. It was a 5 star. So, uh, so this is a must read if you like mysteries, if you like thrillers, if you like suspense. This is the book for you. And the next one, matter of fact, I did the last three. I finished last week, not this past week, but the week before. So I finished it. I finished these three this month. Uh, so this is by Dean Koontz, Breathless, and again, this is worth the time of picking up and reading. I do enjoy Dean Koontz. Honestly, I enjoy Dean Koontz more than I enjoy Stephen King. And but now I am talking about the thriller because he writes horror thriller, and King writes anymore mystery thrillers. And but I've always enjoyed Dean Koontz. Matter of fact, the person that turned me on to Dean Koontz, believe it or not, was my mother-in-law. May she rest in peace. Uh, she turned me on to Dean Koontz, and I thought, well, she likes it, I ain't gonna like it. But I enjoyed Dean Koontz. From that time on, that was years ago when I first read the first Dean Koontz book. The next one is by a new author, James J. Butcher, which is the son of Jim Butcher. This is Dead Man's Hand. 5 stars. This guy, I think I gave him 5 stars. This book was very enjoyable. If you like urban fantasy, if you like witches, demons, all that kind of stuff, pick this up. You will not be disappointed. And don't judge him. If you don't like Jim Butcher, don't judge this boy by Jim Butcher because even though you can tell uh, his dad is a big influence on him, he still writes differently than his dad, even though they write the same kind of stuff. And the last book I finished so far this year is The Drawing of the Three, Stephen King, the Dark Towers 2, and this is another awesome book. It's worth to read. So far, I enjoyed the Gunslinger. Some people don't enjoy Gunslinger. I enjoyed the Gunslinger. I enjoyed this one, and everybody that didn't enjoy Gunslinger did enjoy this one also. Uh, but I enjoyed both of them. So if you have any doubts about picking up this series, pick it up. This is the second book. I can't wait to get the third book. I mean, I got it. I just have to get to the part where I can start reading it. So this is the thing it is. Okay. There's the 14 books I read this month. Now, I could be skipping a few, uh, but that's okay. Because 14 for me, I'm happy with. And I know there's a few of them I'm missing because I read 20 books. So there's four that's missing. So I did read 20 books so far this year, but uh, like I said, I didn't look it up. But don't worry, I'll have them all ready by my end of the year wrap up, and we'll go through all the books again of everything I read. So you guys take care, and I'll be talking to you all later.